Hi there, my name is Adiola. Um, this week I'm going to be talking about something that is really important to me. And not just because I want to teach it, but because I had to do this for me to get me to where I am now. If it's the first time you are listening to me, I introduce myself as this. I'm a life giver and a kingmaker. As a life giver, I'm a therapist and a hypnotherapist. So if you give me your permission, I'll give you your life back. As a kingmaker, I've worked in the television industry for about 17 years professionally, and I've made a lot of kings and queens, and so I'm a kingmaker. Who am I? I'm air. I give people a reason to live, love, and breathe. I'm light. I bring clarity and understanding. I am unconditional love. I love because it's who I am, and I am an example on earth that God exists. How was I able to create this powerful identity for myself? It was because I sat down and I said to myself, who am I? Now, do I have other roles and titles? Yes, I'm a mother, I'm a stepmom, I'm a wife, I'm a boss. All those are roles that I play. I've worked in different capacities over my life, but if I'm stripped off completely of my roles and my titles, what will be left of me is who I've said I am. I am air, love, and light. I'm all. Yes. And now, there was, of course, it wasn't always like this. There was a time in my life where I didn't feel like anything. You would actually say to me, oh, you look beautiful, and I'll be looking backwards to say, is it me they're talking to, or is it somebody at the back? My confidence was at its lowest. My self-esteem was at its lowest. I didn't trust in myself to be able to do anything. I felt like an absolute failure. But today the story is different, because some of the things that I'm going to teach us this week is one of the things that I did for myself. Now, for you to embark on any project or anything at all, there are certain questions you need to ask yourself. Now, if you're writing a story, for example, and today I want to teach us how to tell, first of all, write and then tell the most powerful stories about ourselves. Now, a lot of times we're very good at saying the things that are terrible about us. I'm a this, I'm a that. And they're all negative. I'm not enough. It's not available to me. Nobody loves me, But we forget that, we need that we create our reality, and our words shape our lives. Our words shape our lives. And so in this situation, if you're able to tell a powerful story about yourself, then rather than focusing on the negative things, we'll focus on the positive things. And we can create those things, because if you imagine that I created where I am today, and where I am today is not where I really want to be tomorrow. So what do I need to start doing? I need to now start creating that tomorrow today, right? Because we'll always be in our today. Whether it's in 10 years from now, it will only always be now. So there are 5 W's in creating a story or writing a story, right? There's an H after, but I would intentionally not talk about the H, but I'll tell you why. So today, the 5 whys are what, when, who, where, and why. Okay? Now, the what is the story? What are we trying to say in this story? And what we're trying to do is what? Tell the most powerful story about ourselves. Which then means we need to create it. You need to create it, become it, and then it's easy to teach other people, because we teach people how to treat us, whether we like it, whether we know it or not. And so I wrote a few things down, okay? Now, what happened in this story? What has happened? Now, we're creating an empowering story, like I said. So that's what has happened. Creating an empowering story, or a powerful story about me. That's what has happened, and that's what we're writing about. The first question you ask when you're trying to gather information is, what are we trying to create? What are we trying to write? What are we trying to do? What do we need to get out of this? What are we going to get out of this at the end of this day? Now, in our case, is what are we trying to create? An empowering story or a disempowering story? But we're creating an empowering story, isn't it? Now, what has happened? What are the consequences? What does this mean for anybody who's going to be reading our story? What does it mean for me who is writing the story? What does it mean? What are the consequences? What do I want people to feel when they read my story or hear my story? What is the outcome of what I'm about to write, create, produce, or start? What is the outcome? What are we about to, since we're about to create an empowering story, forgive me, we need to remember that it has to be empowering, because I'm sure you've heard this saying, life is a stage and we're all actors, right? And so when we come to the end of our stories, are we going to be excited about what we have done? Are we going to be bowing out into a continuation in another form, in a powerful way? Or are we going to be regretting our stories? Are we going to be woulda, coulda, shoulda? I could have done this. I could have done that. I should have done this. Will that be our story? No. What we're talking about is starting with that end in mind. I remember reading the book by Stephen Covey, who says, start with the end in mind. And so he made us, in fact, in the book, he kills you in the book and tells you to see yourself at your funeral. And 4 people are saying things about you. And one person is maybe your spouse, your child, in my case, my stepchild also, a family member, a neighbor around you, or a colleague. What are they saying about you? And most importantly, what are they saying about you that you haven't started doing yet? That, I promise you, broke me. What do I want people to say about me that I haven't started doing yet? And so I took out my pen and my paper. Was it my pen and my paper or my laptop? I think it started with my pen and my paper, and then I moved to my laptop. And I wrote down all the things that I would want to have achieved by the time I am, I'm being put into the ground. My body is being put into the ground, because I'm more than my body, right? And I saw it, and I heard them say it, and I started to put it to work. And that's one of the things that I'm doing here today, which is touching people's lives with everything that I have and dying absolutely empty of everything and every gift that God has given me. And so I'm here. So maybe you'll be one of the people who will be saying wonderful things about me. You never know. Yes. So are we going to be playing our song fully? They say that the graveside has most of the beautiful talents, because really, they didn't sing their songs to the fullest. Are you going to be one of them? Are you going to add more wealth to the graveside? Or are you going to die empty like I've said that I will do? Okay? Now, no regrets. The truth is, only you can decide what side of the divide you will end up in. If you can do more than you are doing now, what will you be doing? What is stopping you from doing it? Is it fear, guilt, anxiety? Imagine God was standing in front of you right now and is asking that question. What would you be telling him? What would you tell him that is stopping you from playing full out and singing your song and writing the most incredible story about yourself and being the star in your own movie? A lot of us are like extras in our movies, but we must be the star. That's what we're thinking of. And so when we're writing our incredible, powerful life story, what is it going to be about? What is it going to be about? What experiences are we going to be sharing with the world? What experiences from our own experiences are we going to be sharing in our story to empower another person? Because when you shine brightly, you give other people permission to shine as well. So what story are you going to start to tell about yourself? What story are you going to start to write about yourself? And what story are you going to start to give to the world to enjoy about you? What incident are we talking about? Would it be an incident? Maybe a small piece of your story. But that story, that experience happened in your life to be able to empower other people and tell them that they're not on their own and that you're right there with them. So what is your story about? It has to be empowering. You have to be the star in the movie. It has to be something that other people will read. And as I'm saying it, I'm getting goosebumps that other people will read and it will resonate with their core, because you are telling the most phenomenal story about yourself. So today, all we're talking about is the what. What is your story going to be about? What is your legacy going to be? What are you going to be depositing in the world? What gift are people going to touch when they reach you and when they find you or when they meet you? What is that personality? What are the values that you're going to live by? What are the things that you're going to speak about? What are your beliefs? What are your behaviors? What in the story that we're about to tell about ourselves, which is the most empowering story about ourselves, is one of the first keys and components of writing a story. Once again, my name is Adiola, and I can't wait to see what you're going to start writing about. And subsequently, we'll talk about the others, okay? But today is the what. What is your story about? What are people going to feel when they hear about you? I say that people will feel me as air and light and love when they meet me. What about you? I can't wait to hear from you. Have a wonderful day, and I honor you.